Hi, Cancer. So this is the first time I have done a series like this where I go through the zodiac signs. Please let me know what you think, or what types of readings you would like to see. This is for the Mercury Retrograde that started today in Gemini, moving into Taurus. If you want to see how the spread was put together, it is on my Patreon as a patrons only. There are a lot of bonuses there, but there are also some things that are public, and so you can get an idea of that. To book a reading, head to the website. Thank you for liking and subscribing and all of that. This is a 3-card spread, but we will be using 5 cards because I will be getting a signifier or a card for you and a shadow card or the card from the bottom of the deck. Please let me know if you have any questions at the end. So we're starting with your signifier. That is a card to represent you. And we are starting, well, that is the 3 of Cups. So the cups are the water element. So that's fitting as you are one of the water signs. The 3 of Cups is about community and celebration, coming together to lift each other up, to have a good time. It is not a card of being too serious. So this is a great time to focus on the more positive feelings in your day-to-day, helping others celebrate, really enjoying what you're doing and enjoying life. If this resonates, continue on, because that means this reading is probably for you. But either way, hopefully you keep that sentiment throughout the day, where you're able to focus on the fun things that are happening and have some time to relax and enjoy yourself. The first question is, how can I collect my ideas and choose my words? We have the Page of Pentacles. So the pages are very curious. They are the youngest of the court cards. They have that energy of learning and curiosity and jumping into new things. And they also have the kind of go-getter, finding resources, of finding new business ideas, new ways to do things, new ways to maximize things. So they're a little all over the place, but like in a fun way. In terms of collecting ideas and choosing words, it is kind of asking you to focus on one idea at a time. Now, one thing I do love about this particular version of this card is you see, at first glance, she's a flower, and I think she's even intended to be a flower. But there are other cards in the deck with this same or similar tutu, and they are swans. And then she's got the butterflies, and I kind of love that as a roots and wings kind of idea. Like, she was originally a flower, but she's going to be a bird. Like, she is going to be who she is going to be. You know, there's an alignment and a truthfulness to that. And in that, in terms of collecting ideas, choosing your words, just being true to yourself, being authentic, not using other people's words where you can use your own. Now, sometimes other people put things so perfectly we have to, that's why we quote. But there's a difference between quoting someone you agree with and taking on someone else's ideas as your own because you're not sure. Back to that youthfulness and curiosity, it is very easy when you are learning about different things to start quoting them as though they are your own. This feels very much like in terms of what you put out there, whether you're a creator or you have a small business, or in general conversation, but it does have that career, skill, bent, being that it's the Pentacles. It's got that where you need to make sure that if you get some advice from somebody else, or you see someone else doing something or saying something and they seem to be doing well, absolutely examine why, but make sure you are doing that authentically. So the key here really is to make sure you're not getting caught up in the frenzy and in someone that you admire so much that you are becoming a copy of them. Make sure your words are your own. With that, we have, how can I be sure that I'm being heard correctly? With the Knight of Cups. In this deck, the Knight of Cups is my adventure card, but more traditionally, what we're used to seeing here is the guy with the rose-colored glasses. He's called the romantic, not because he brings flowers and chocolates, but because he sees the good in people, and because he sees the good in people, refuses to see anything else. These pair so lovely together, because you can make sure you're being heard correctly when you take those glasses off. As much as you need to put out your authentic self, you also need to make sure that you are being received as your authentic self. So this is about listening to everything that someone says. Tone, watching actions, and tone can be very difficult, especially for me. I have such a hard time with it over text, and therefore big discussions I really prefer be over the phone or in person. But it's a matter of interpretation. So you can be sure that you're being heard correctly if you are not always assuming the best in people. This doesn't mean being cynical or assuming the worst. Giving the benefit of the doubt is not a problem. It's about not letting somebody make something out to be your fault every time they don't understand you. Some people will deliberately misunderstand you. Having those rose-colored glasses will keep you telling them over and over again as they just throw different arguments in. And I am very much avoiding certain words because I think they're overused. But there is something to that idea where if somebody believes they are right, they will do anything in their power to misunderstand anything that disagrees with them. So as a pair, choosing your words, putting the right words out there, and having them received is very much going to be about not assuming that just because you admire someone, they are always right. Moving on, as Gemini moves into Taurus, we need to look at how we can be more flexible. The third question is, how can I be more flexible? That's sweet. So the Two of Cups is the card of unconditional love. If you are new to tarot, oftentimes when you're looking at a love reading, you think you should be looking for the lovers, but actually it's this card. That said, that unconditional love does not have to be for a romantic partner. It is often that we are asking you to love yourself as much as you are loving somebody else. It is that idea that you can make mistakes. And I love this for how can I be more flexible, because the idea is to forgive yourself for not being perfect. Most of the time when we hold on to certain ideas or certain patterns, it is because they are the ones that have kept us safe, or the ones that have worked for us, or the ones that we think will keep everybody liking us. So while we have a touch of that here, this tends to be more about our routines. You can be more flexible by being more understanding with yourself and with others. We're all human. We're all just trying to get through this. Some people are more well-meaning than others, but ultimately, most people are really just trying to do their best. And if you can see that for other people, you need to be able to see that for yourself. and you'll be able to find that you can move around a little bit easier and go what feels like off course a little bit more often if you can just let yourself believe that it's okay to make mistakes if it doesn't go exactly as planned. So for our shadow card, which is just the bottom of the deck that hits on everything else, that's why it's called that, we have another page. We have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is one of my very, very favorite cards because, as you know, I love that page energy of being curious and learning and still excited about life. And the Page of Wands also has that added idea of creativity and passion. So I always feel like this card, especially here where she's growing the flowers, I always, or usually, see this as the person who tries a new thing and then tries a new thing and then tries a new thing and then tries a new thing, like starts a new project, buys stuff for another one, and never really finishes it. And one of the cautions there is if you're not finishing it because you don't feel good enough, you don't think it'll ever be good enough, finish it anyway. But if it's just because you don't still love doing it, it is okay to let it go. I love this, especially with the Two of Cups, because it's saying, like, don't dig in and hold on to your mistakes because you think they are somehow who you are. Or because that person that we're talking about here that you admire doesn't do it that way. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't be afraid to start a project or something that you love and then find out you don't love it. Now, if you've made a commitment to somebody, I absolutely believe you should follow through, or you should find a way to disengage from the project without leaving them high and dry. Absolutely. But if you've started learning how to knit, or you started a small business by yourself and it's not doing what you thought it was going to do, it's okay to make adjustments. So the Mercury Retrograde is going to shake you up a little bit anyway. Instead of holding on to how you think things should be, see if you can ride that wave. See if you can let it take you somewhere you wouldn't have gone otherwise. Please let me know what you think about this reading. Please let me know if you have any questions, if there's anything that did or didn't make sense. I am not grabbing clarifiers because I actually think it was fairly straightforward and a pretty obvious theme there, but please do let me know. If you use the spread for yourself, please let me know, and if you post it, please post it and tag me. I would love to see how everybody does with this. If you don't want to do the full 5, just do the 3. I like the signifier because I don't know you, and that helps us get into the reading. I like the shadow card to kind of tie up the bow, but these 3 are really the only part that were the spread. Let me know what you think. Thank you again for liking, subscribing, and sharing with somebody who might really enjoy this. Have a wonderful week.